They're putting all kinds of new features in this Zoom package. I haven't even begun to look at them all.
It's sort of like Photoshop.
Yeah. Diane?
Hello, been a while.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you move out of the country or?
I was out of the country for almost 2 months,
Wow.
Scotland. But I went back and watched your videos. You didn't do it in March. I saw February's and April's and May's.
I think March is when Gary's grandson.
Yeah, we missed that meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Linda, you had asked about what night we have these. Rather than go by the third Wednesday, what I've been doing is getting the Wednesday in between the two club meetings. So we
Okay.
have consistent spacings to them. So
Okay,
a lot of times that's the third meeting, but not always.
okay. Maybe confirm at the next one.
Yeah. Okay, Jackie Edwards, that's good.
Hi, Ann. I haven't seen you.
I know.
forever.
Hi, Linda. We'll have to go for a walk. pretty
Yes.
soon. I hurt my back lifting a suitcase. I
Oh,
have to go to
no.
physical therapy.
Oh, no.
All
Yeah,
that camera gear.
yeah. Every once in a while, it really catches like a nerve, you know.
Yeah, I've been trying a new serve with tennis and I'm going back to the old way. Let's just say that.
Starting to bother you.
I just can't bend like that anymore.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Doug's gonna try and join, but he's having real problems. He can't hold the
Yeah.
camera.
So he thinks it's carpal tunnel, you said?
Yeah, they won't, he can't get into his doctor until like sometime in August.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's a
He's
long
been-
time to wait.
Well, yeah, he had 3 issues and he's got the one with his legs, physical therapy fixed that, and he's well along to fixing the rotator cuff with physical therapy. So he's just got to get his hands fixed.
Jeez.
That's tough.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Hi, Jackie.
Hello.
Hi, Jackie.
Hello.
One of the things I think we're suffering is the people are doing things during the summer and traveling.
Yeah, I wasn't sure I could make it tonight, but it worked out. I'm glad.
Well, most of the clubs don't even meet during the summer.
Hmm. I have too many pictures for that.
Yeah, you certainly do with all the traveling you've been doing.
I could live 3 lives, I think, with all my pictures. Well, plus I can't throw anything away. I have to save like everyone.
I know all about saving too many. We are recording this, so don't say anything bad about Gary.
Mike's message about he was wondering if someone could maybe videotape
Yeah, and I'm gonna
the
be tied
funeral
up.
for me.
I'm
I
gonna
wonder
be-
if she would be happy with a cell phone. I don't have.
Actually, a cell phone does a great job for most
Yeah.
folks. Yeah, I just can't get over how she's been with us for a long, long time.
I know.
And you get all busted up like that.
Was she on a motorcycle?
Yes.
Her grandson
Oh,
was
and-
giving
and-
her a ride, and a
Oh,
lady pulled out in front and T-boned him, killed the grandson.
oh my God.
But Nancy broke her pelvis, both arms, both legs, and a bunch of other bones.
Oh, that's awful. Just
I-
awful.
I feel bad for that lady too. I mean, she was at fault maybe, but that's a hard thing to live with.
Yeah,
Yep,
I would think so.
yeah, and you know,
Oh.
there'll be a court case. Hi, Keith.
Mm.
Hi everyone.
I was wondering if, I wish I knew how long she'd be in the hospital because I thought it might be fun to like send her images or something to put on her walls or I don't know. You know, print something up and have it shipped.
I mean,
sent to
I
the
can't
hospital.
imagine she's gonna be very mobile for a long time.
I know, but they don't like to keep you in the hospital any longer.
Yeah, I
She
know
may be
that.
in rehab.
Yeah, probably.
I really don't know.
Mr. Hagopian's joining us. Did anybody go up to the National Mustache Contest last Saturday? I didn't
No,
either.
it seems like I'd been a good place to get some good portraits there.
Yeah. I had too many other things going on. Time is it? 7:03. I'll wait a couple more minutes, see if we get any more arrivals. I'd love to see Mike Birch back, but I know he's working day and night in the summertime.
I expected Tom to be here tonight.
Doug Palmer's joining. Good. It's the fellow I met up in Taos. He was at the last club meeting.
I was worried I scared him away a little bit when he was showing me some of his things. You know, because they're not really gonna fit in our nature category that well.
I know, and that was part of my long-winded critique of the rules proposed I sent to Mike last Saturday. I've got a
Well,
real,
again, we could have our own rules and you just have to know that it's not gonna go on.
yeah,
to
the problem
GDC.
is it's deep-seated. It's been out there for years. Bill Buchanan has been deeply involved in the PSA for many, many years. And that's really what's going on. And he's been convincing the club to get deeper and deeper and the councils to get deeper and deeper. But the problem I have with it fundamentally is we're forgetting the reason why we have camera clubs. That's for people with like interests to get together and explore and do and learn and experience, as opposed to being slaves to a competition regime. And that's kind of what it's been.
But as a club, if we say you can change the background, you can do an artistic nature picture, we'll accept that. You
But the
just have to
problem
know
is
going in that
it's never going to
it won't.
council.
well, then you know that going in and it's your, it's your choice. At least you can share it with club.
Make
I'm
Keith's job
fine
a
with
lot
that.
more difficult.
Hmm.
Hi, Doug.
Hello.
Okay. Well, we got 9 folks now. Doug Palmer just came to our last meeting. I met him up at Taos. If you didn't get a chance to talk to him at the last club meeting. Very knowledgeable bird photographer. So I think he'll fit well with this group for some of the things. Doug, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I characterized some of your editing as sort of a fine art treatment to environmental birds and animals.
Yeah, I do a variety, but that's a big part of what I do. I try to make it less photo-like and more a little more, introduce a little bit more painterly look to it.
Yep, and of course you're taking the actual photos.
Yeah, the bird itself is the actual is untouched, but I might add a painterly background into it or something like that.
Yeah. That was one of the things I objected to with the removal of the 1/3 rule. Okay, we got Erwin with us.
Yep,
We can-
I can be here for an hour.
Oh, okay, we'll talk fast. Okay. We've got 9, 10 folks with Tom. Tom Pinar's with us now too. We might as well get started. We are recording the meeting as always, or as usual. And I'll try and get that posted tomorrow to the Flickr or to the website. And with that, I think Gary's probably got some stuff he wants to discuss. I think we have been kicking around the notion of refocusing this group a little bit. Last couple, 3 months, it's kind of been more show and tell than not, but I certainly don't have a problem with that. But I think where we're headed is we do a lot of things in this group. It isn't just street or urban. We get into a lot of the masters, color schemes, editing techniques, new tools, that sort of thing. So all of this, I believe, is something we're not getting in the regular club meetings.
Okay, I was looking through some old stuff this week and I came upon this. How many remember this from our first meeting?
Yeah,
Wow.
all the different artists. Yep.
Yeah, and I thought, wow, 3 years we've been doing this and we're seeing such great photography. And I kind of asked myself the question, are we moving in a different direction? Do we need to take a look at where we are with street and urban landscape photography? Are things going the way we want to? I mean, we're seeing some incredible photography and people have really grown and developed. As far as I'm concerned, they're just doing a wonderful job. And, so I don't want to throw any cold water on what we're doing. I just want to ask the question, do we keep doing some of the things we're doing? Do we, look at street photography and urban landscape photography as a primary focus? I'd like to get some feedback from the group. If we've drifted off at all, I'll take complete responsibility for that. I'm supposed to be monitoring and, facilitating the meeting. So, don't feel like I'm throwing this out at people and saying, you're doing the wrong thing. You're not. We're doing some great photography, and I just want to hear some feedback from people.
Well, I'll start off with the fact that this slide that you've got up reminds me a great deal of the things we've done that were pretty important. The discussion of famous photographers and artists and how that applies to photography. That was a big deal. I certainly enjoyed all of that.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of the street and urban landscape, but I don't take a lot of it. I don't find myself in those situations as much. So I still like reviewing it. I still like talking about it because there's techniques that come out of it that I can apply to the stuff I do take. And I feel like if someone is primarily a nature photographer, that they should still be able to come to the group and share their work, as long as they're trying to incorporate some of these, ideas that we talk about, and we can still offer critique and all that. But I know when I think of Wednesday, I always think first, like, what might I have that's sort of urban and street? And if I don't have anything, I don't have anything, but I do try to think about that. When I have the opportunity to take those images, I do try and take them.
I like the direction that we're going right now, Gary. I've learned a lot over the last couple of years, and it's been real helpful to me in what I do and, what I see from the others in the group here. And I like the variety of photos, that we see on the Wednesday night. It's just enjoyable. And you know, I try like Linda said, to put in a street scene every now and then. In fact, today I was thinking about putting some photos in from Italy, some street scenes from last year when I was there, but I didn't get around to it. I entered some other photos for tonight, but yeah, I like the open format that we have, or that we evolved into.
Okay.
Yeah, I do too, Gary. I think I've learned so much from this group, and I think it's because we've allowed more than just the street. I've learned a lot from the street because that's what we started with. But I also think it allows us to be creative in other areas besides urban and street landscape. And since some of the things that we're creative with, we may not submit to club because they're not, may not quite fit one of those categories, or we don't feel they're good enough to fit one of those categories, where we can share it here and get some, you know, constructive criticism. And also by seeing other people's work, we learn from that too.
Okay, good. These are all good comments. You know, I was starting to feel guilty that I was pointing the club in the wrong direction or the group in the wrong direction. So to hear you say these things, it's makes me feel better that you know, everybody's getting something out of it. You know, we certainly talk about techniques a lot, and I think that's a real important subject that we have to continue going on. You know, things that Tom Pinar brings in, you know, and shows us what to do. And every once in a while, we'll talk about an artist or a photographer that has some special techniques, and we can talk about trying to look at those. So good. I wanted some feedback. I was feeling a little guilty that maybe I wasn't captaining the ship correctly.
No.
No,
Yeah,
you're doing great.
Yeah, I like the variety that we get. We get a great variety of stuff. I enjoy seeing everyone's work. Yeah.
Good. Okay.
And,
All right.
you
Then
know, looking at this slide and then thinking back to the original members of the group and their skill set and how damn good they are now, I don't feel like I can compete with most of you guys anymore. You know, there's just been a whole lot of learning going on.
yeah, when I look at this and I see Norman Rockwell and who else we got up here?
Andrew Wyeth.
Andrew Wyeth, Edward Hopper. You know, I still get so much inspiration from, you know, these special artists, and you know, I encourage people to look at art and artists for inspiration. And if you find somebody that you really think you know, can help us and point us in a new direction, you know, please bring that in. I'd like to see it. So
Yeah,
Well,
even
Gary,
Van-
you're unique in how much you know about so many of these subjects. I really enjoy when you bring in the things about whether it's Wyeth or other artists, or like Tom Pinar when he talks about old style color schemes or techniques. And of course, he's a master at Photoshop and changing things. There's so much crossover to me. No matter what genre you're working in, it applies to the other genres. And I think there's a breath of fresh air that we get out from under the shackles of the competition rules.
okay.
I think it's nice once in a while to have like a little, you know, we used to have kind of little assignments once in a while to try to like edit a picture that would be sort of Andrew Wyeth. Or, you know, we could do Van Gogh. He was a master at color. You know, look for images that might suit to those styles of edits. You know, I enjoy doing that now and then.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've mentioned it many times, you know, that as you start studying these famous artists, you know, I'd be real interested to find out who your favorites are. So if you're looking through some books or online and you really like a particular artist, send some pictures in, and I like to discuss it and find out, if there's a direction to look at that photographically. I've seen so many videos now where the instructors are looking back on artists and how they influence us as photographers. So keep that in mind when you're going through YouTube or whatever else. If you do any of that research or on some of these forums, if you find somebody that you're really inspired by, please bring that in. I think that's really helpful.
Yeah, I did that with some of my Western, Frederick Remington.
Yeah.
Just try to use that as.
Absolutely. Okay. Thank you for the feedback. Okay. See if these are going to be large enough to see on the screen. Okay, Ann?
Ann's not here, is she?
Oh, she's not?
No,
Okay, I
not
didn't
right
know.
now. Well, one
Okay.
thing, maybe we can bring it up, and that is the notion of meetups of one kind or another. This is the weekend for Motor Muster. We kicked around the idea of maybe having another meetup at Greenfield Village to do street and urban landscape types of work. I know Gary's tied up on Saturday mornings, but what do you think about getting together on, say, Sunday morning at Greenfield Village?
What is the date? Is that the 19th or 20th?
This Sunday.
This coming Sunday.
Saturday and Sunday it'll be there. I'll be there both days, I think. I'm going to
Yeah.
be done with my golf tournament about 1 o'clock, and I expect to be down there maybe 2:30 or so. And then I'm going to come back again on Sunday. I've got grandkids over, and they're going to want to go. I mean, there's so many different things you can photograph down there. People in costumes, the cars themselves, just street scenes. You can do it in black and white. You can do it in color. There's plenty of opportunities there. There's some of the new buildings that they're opening now really house some really interesting exhibits.
I know.
So
we're
Good custard.
Pardon?
A good custard, right?
Good
That's
custard.
Doug lets me know, and then we walk through the gate. Let's go walk over by the
Custard stand.
custard station.
Sunday is Father's Day. I
Yeah.
don't think I can do it, but I'm not saying it sounds fabulous. I wish I could.
Well, I know for sure that I'll be there Saturday afternoon and evening, because we always like to go late in the day whenever they have an event, Motor Muster, Old Car Festival, that kind of thing. That also brings a different perspective to street work because you've got night shots. And I'll probably be
So,
there
Gary-
both days.
You could get everybody should go see the Wes Anderson movie starting. Is it this weekend?
Yep.
Oh, does that start this weekend?
I
Yeah.
think this start this week or the 23rd. I think
It's all over TV, and it's all done in the colors are great when you see.
Yeah, yeah,
They show.
they are.
Just
The more I see his work, the more excited I get about the whole concept. I just love.
but the whole movie is filmed like that. It's great.
Yeah.
I know.
Really,
Asteroid City, Asteroid City.
Yeah.
right. It's really saturated, really bright primary colors.
Yeah.
But Doug Palmer, just so you're aware, we did a study of Wes Anderson's movies and how that applies to photography and the color schemes and just the way he does his framing. And that's been pretty interesting.
I wonder, I don't know if I'm familiar with the movies. Is there a famous one? Or popular one?
There's a bunch
The
of them.
Budapest Hotel
Okay.
Yeah. Grand Budapest Hotel.
and
Okay.
The Darjeeling, was that it? No.
Yes.
Yeah, I think
there's
there's
the
Grand
Tannenbaum.
Darjeeling.
Is it the Tannenbaums or the
Yeah, Royal Tannenbaums.
Yeah.
is one of
Royal
his.
Tannenbaums?
Yes.
If you Google it though, it's just
Okay.
That
every
looks-
like he had a trailer for the last one, the French one. And on my phone, I had the video clip of the trailer and I stopped it like every second or so. And every frame of that clip is
It's
an
a photograph.
incredible photograph.
Mhm.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, colors, the way he does a frontal. So that's some of the stuff we've done in the past is look at a particular artist and then maybe see what we can make out of his style.
Okay, let's go through Ann's anyways, because if she's gonna watch the video, she'll be
So,
interested. in-
so this picture is classic street photography, right?
Sure.
Why did he cross the road? Where's the street?
Across the street.
He wanted to go up the stairs, see? That's it.
Yeah.
Now, these are great if you can get people to pose for you.
Yeah.
And it's a real art form just to be able to relate to people and talk to people and get them to,
Are you
Yeah,
displaying?
isn't that a variation of a street photography? One little part of it?
Are
sure.
you
Oh,
displaying
yeah.
things now? Because I don't see any.
You're not seeing it?
Nope.
I see it.
I
Screen,
see
right?
it.
I see it.
I
Yeah.
see it.
See man with the necklace.
What's the deal?
What'd you
He's
do,
got his,
Bob?
he's got his screen with all the icons on it. I
Yeah.
think,
The apps on the right?
and drives and stuff, and then he has a list underneath of all the people and the photographs that have photographs in
Wonder what I'm missing.
these different folders. And then he has the pictures.
I would. Let me switch to Bridge and see if that makes it look any different.
Let me see if there's a.
Sometimes the files aren't large enough though in Bridge, it'll show them at
This
their
works-
native.
What you have works fine. It's showing here.
It's showing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see it.
I do too.
You got it on your Finder page. It starts from there and then goes that Finder, and I don't know what the next one is.
Right.
And then the pictures.
Do you see the people talking, Bob? Do you see?
No,
the
I-
guests?
over on the
see
right,
you
on the right
guys.
side. Whoever's talking, it lights up on the right side of mine.
I've got all of you that light up. I don't.
So
have-
maybe you need to change the
Yes.
setup, like at the
Yeah.
very top. Shrink it down to just,
So. Switch. Full screen, no, that just makes it bigger. Well, keep
What
going,
happens-
figure it out.
Who's
what
on the
happens if
sc-
you hide all the video, the hide?
Who's on the screen now?
I'm just trying to use
Oh, you're
Bridge.
trying to find it,
to-
okay.
I've got
Yeah,
all
you
your
had it
faces.
there. You had WOCC 2023 or something on a folder. There it is. There's all the pictures, right
See,
there.
they're smaller, so
They're
that's why.
smaller. Yeah, it was nicer, bigger, but that's all right.
Yeah, let me go back and,
Except Bob's not seeing them, so.
No wonder what I'm doing.
I hope it's recording it,
It is recorded. It says recording. That's what's at the upper left-hand corner.
but I'm not sure it's recording what we're seeing or what's on Bob's screen.
All right,
Oh,
show the invitation today. This is the group.
Yeah, you got WOCC June 2023 up there right now.
Let me try this.
That folder.
It's good.
There you go again. Same thing, 5 items. Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay. You keep going, I'll have to figure it out.
All right,
log in again? No.
ooh, I like it.
It's some blur. I wonder if she did it in camera or, I think so.
This looks in camera.
Looks like a long exposure.
Yeah, just.
I think it's ICM.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
That's cool.
Pretty colors. I don't know if she's edited these at all.
So she's in Ireland, Scotland, somewhere.
All right, I'm gonna try something to interrupt here. I'm gonna try
Like
sharing the screen,
Amsterdam.
Okay.
and then that may knock you out. Desktop 1, desktop 2.
You want me to put, I can hit stop share.
Hang on, let's see what this message is. system settings.
It almost looks like the Isle of Mull. What if she's back in Scotland?
That's what I said. This is Scotland. Looks
Yeah,
like,
looks like the Isle of Mull.
yeah, the house is up on top and everything.
Uh-huh. Yep, it is Tobermory.
That has Wes Anderson potential with those pastels.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing.
Teddy bear passenger.
Any luck,
The Isle
Bob?
of Mull.
There you go.
There, done that. Done.
Aw,
That's
Mhm.
nice.
little Scottish Terrier,
Yeah, it's cute.
West Hyman.
Okay, that kind of give you a conglomeration of things tonight. I have some street and then just, I have not had a chance to edit many of my photos from Scotland. Because the days were long there, so I got home late. And usually I try to edit some each day, but that wasn't happening. We just got back about a week and a half ago. So anyway, this is near Perthshire. It's called in a place called the Hermitage, and it's a beautiful ancient forest. And this was a building that was rebuilt sometime I think in the early 1900s, but originally it was built in 1758 by some duke, and it overlooks a waterfall. And then there's a beautiful woodland walk through here.
Hmm.
So I have to ask, have you watched the TV series Outlander?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we're rewatching it now, and there's so much Scottish history.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, I love
what it's about,
Scotland.
yeah.
And
By the
this
way, I'm
is
seeing the pictures now.
okay, good. This is Luscontyre Beach on the Isle of Harrison Lewis. This is on South Harris. It was, the storm was coming in. So I liked it because of the white sand against the darker sky. This beach is incredible. It's very, very long. I don't know if anybody has been to Harrison Lewis. But it's like going to a Caribbean beach, but it's cold, very cold. It's just beautiful, white sand, and the water here is dark because the sky is dark, but when the sun is out, it's actually turquoises and greens. It's like going to the Caribbean.
Yeah, I think Nigel Danson had quite a few recently.
Yeah, he spent a month there.
Mm.
And
Oh.
this is in Glasgow, and in Glasgow, they have a lot of murals. And the girl and her shadow are a mural, and I caught the guy walking by, and then I made his shadow.
Wow.
How'd you make his shadow?
I just, took him out, made,
Selected him out.
yep. And then I just darkened him down and moved the shadow where I wanted it, and then, took the opacity down.
Ah,
Well, that's street
Very
photography.
clever. Well done.
Yeah,
thank
well
you.
done, man. Good
Thank
idea.
you. And this was in Glasgow at the central train station. And I just happened to catch this girl. Her jacket almost matches the train
polka
the blue-
dots.
with the
That's
blue and
perfect.
white. Yeah. And great. My husband and I are joking around about Mind the Gap, because we were in London many years ago when my son was studying abroad, and we took the subway a lot, and we always would tease and say, Mind the Gap. So I took it mostly for that. And then I saw this girl and, oh my God, her jacket matches the train.
Is this your 24 to 100 you're using for that?
Yes, yeah. Mhm. And this is kind of a creative one. We were walking to the Glasgow University, and there's a Kelvin Grove Art Museum in the park there. And from the ceiling, they had all, I don't know, probably close to 100 of these faces, skulls, whatever, hanging from the ceiling. And so I isolated some of them and made this little creative picture.
Was the lighting from the,
Yes.
okay,
Yes, from the display.
that's neat, Ann.
Thanks. And this is my Wes Anderson that I put in here tonight in honor of the new Asteroid City movie.
That's
This
really
was-
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
This
that's
is a
really nice.
building.
Yeah.
And this is a building in Oban. And I saw it, and the color was more of a green. So I changed it to the turquoise, but it was yellow and then kind of a greenish instead of turquoise. And I knew right away, I said, God, this looks like Wes Anderson. So I had to take it.
I just like the picture, the way that the
Yeah.
buildings there shows the people, you know, one person wants it painted and the other one doesn't.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I
It's
had
really
to do a lot of geometry fixing.
Yeah,
Because I'm short and this is the top of the building. So you know when you lift your camera and you point it up, what happens?
you
It's all
can't-
distorted.
You
Yeah.
can't tell you did a lot of that either, so.
Good,
it's nice.
good.
Before I forget, Bob, you and I talked about creating a Flickr site for the group.
Oh, yeah.
And boy, to have pictures like this, you know, on that Flickr site, we could even create, you know, folders, you know, with Wes Anderson pictures, street pictures and things like that. So keep that in mind. I think it would be a great idea for
Well,
the
just
group to have.
while we're here,
Flickr site.
group, what do you think? Should we?
I like that idea.
Yeah, I do
I
too.
like Flickr.
But everybody should have their name on there somewhere too.
Well,
Yeah,
that's embedded in the picture. Once you download it, you'll be able to see who the picture was
Yeah,
taken.
but
by.
you don't want to have it shown on there
No, you don't need that, no.
in the corner or
You just
anything?
hit the
No?
information button and it'll tell you.
Okay, all right.
You can add it if you want, Doug. I do.
Sure.
No, I'm just saying they should have it on there, I think, but.
Yeah, we
it's
can always add it, but
yeah. That's
Quicker than
fine.
going and looking for it, you know?
Well,
have to.
between Gary and
If
I
you
will
think it
set
detract- If you
that
think
up.
it detracts, then don't do it, so.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and set that up.
And when you went to change the color, do you have to select that out and do it? I'm still not very good at changing colors and things.
yeah,
Don't you select everything green and just change it to something else?
yeah, yeah.
How do you select everything green?
Just click on the
With-
green.
Select
Yeah,
by
just-
color.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we need to, I don't know how to do that.
Okay,
Okay, well,
when we
uh,
get together, we'll,
It's on the drop
do
down
it.
there probably, so, yeah.
In Photoshop, under the select menu, you can select by color range.
Really?
Yeah, you should just go through those things and play with all the buttons sometime.
yeah, that's kind of what
I don't
happened.
even know that where the buttons are.
You'll find those too, huh?
Nice clouds.
Yeah, we had all kinds of weather. I mean, it was
good.
from cold to warm, you know, it was, most days were overcast. There were few and far in between blue skies,
Okay.
but it became so, when we got there, everything was brown. Like we went to Glencoe, which is supposed to be beautiful, and it was awful taking pictures because everything was brown. And I couldn't even make a moody picture out of it. And then all of a sudden, like a few weeks later, everything was this gorgeous green. And then some of the fields had the rapeseed, the yellow rapeseed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I have some pictures like that. I haven't edited them yet.
So
But
what's
the
the crop
contrast,
here?
no idea.
It's
But
a
I
wide
like-
angle.
Yeah. No, I don't know if it is. I can't remember. It might be.
Well, no, what
I
I
didn't
mean
use
was,
my wide angle that much.
you know what's.
Well, when
brown
I
in
say
here?
wide angle, I mean, you might have 35.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, it could be.
Okay, before I forget, let's just take this and I'll show you real quick in Camera Raw. Let's go back to filter. Oops, hit the wrong button. Cancel. Filter. Camera. If you go into color mixer and you go to hue, there's a little button right here, target, that if you hit that, you can drag it over to whatever color you're looking at and just slide it one way or the other.
That's too easy.
Yeah, I don't think I did it that way. I don't-
And then luminance, if you
easier.
want to take that, and brighten it a little bit, you can lighten or darken it.
But if you did that on the blue, because she's got that color in the sky, wouldn't it change your sky too?
Different
And then
tone.
you're kind of
If you're changing one blue, you're likely to change others. I mean, if we go to hue and I hit the sky and I start changing that,
Mhm.
I think
You
she
can
said
see
they were,
that
gre-
the
they were green.
yeah, you can see the ones on the paintings around the windows, or the blue around the windows is going to change a little bit, not as much.
not as much.
So
That's
it's
always the
something-
problem I had with that, is that it's like a global.
You can see if I'm changing this one on the window, you can see the sky is changing as well.
Mhm.
You can make a selection and do it that way, but it sometimes this works without creating a problem. So you can just try it.
Right, thank you. I
Okay.
know about that one.
Sometimes we forget to go back and answer
Mhm.
questions, so I thought I'd do it there.
Yeah,
Oh, and of course, they were doing a lot of farming, getting for the crops, so plant the crops. And so I liked the rows. Often I wanted to stop, but there was no place to stop. There were many beautiful pictures to be taken, but the Scotland roads are not accommodating at all to pull over. So this
right.
happened to be on a back road.
I really
Okay.
like what those trees look like, especially on the right and left. What did you do to those? Was that just natural light and sharp pictures?
I think so. I don't know if I did the Orton effect on this one, maybe.
Well, it's got a lot of detail in it.
Yeah, I might have done an Orton effect on this.
So Anne, what camera are you using for this?
The Canon R5
Okay, how many megapixels is that?
42, I think.
Okay, because you've really done a nice job in the detail. It's not over sharpened. It just looks like there's plenty of detail there, which for this particular picture really works well.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's so
Mhm.
sharp. Do you manually focus?
Do I want manually focus?
Yeah,
Yes, most often I try to manually focus. Oh, if I'm using a tripod.
right.
If I'm not using a tripod, then I'd use autofocus. And I don't
Mhm.
remember if I got the tripod out for this, because often if we're just driving around,
Yeah,
I don't get the tripod out unless I'm gonna be slowing the water down or something like that.
So when you
this
manually
one.
focus on a scene like this, are you focusing on those trees or?
I don't know if this one was if I focus stacked this one. It's a possibility I did.
Because it's awfully sharp from front to back.
Yeah, I think I might have done two pictures and put these together. I don't know, can you tell by
No.
if you go in the history, can you tell, Gary?
I don't have it in Bridge. All I have is this.
Oh, okay. I'd have to go back and check. That might have been a merge of two pictures, focusing on
done.
the front and then focusing in the back.
There's a big difference between resolution and sharpness. And a lot of people over sharpen their pictures because they're trying to make up for lack of resolution. And in this case, it looks like you've got a lot of resolution and you left it that way without over sharpening. Then it really, really looks nice.
Oh, good, thank you. And this is the Isle of Skye, Neast Point, which is the most western point of, I think northwestern point of Scotland, mainland. And that day it was pouring rain. So that picture was taken with an umbrella over my tripod.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah,
it looks so much like the Faroes.
It does. There's parts of Scotland that remind me much of the Faroe Islands.
Yeah, those outer islands.
Yeah.
Well, beautiful subtle tones in these clouds. That's just remarkable.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's one good thing about the storm.
but I like that they're soft. Sometimes I
Yeah.
don't like if they're overly, then they almost become a distraction.
Right,
They're not the
That's
star of the show here.
right. Good.
And
Oh,
then on the beach, that Luscantire beach, it's a very long, it's a really big beach. And at one end of the beach, there's a home nearby and they own 2 white horses. I just recently found out that one passed away. Because I had posted this on a Scotland web page, Facebook page, and somebody had responded that because people were asking, is this a wild horse or whatever? And one person said, no, there were 2 and one passed away. But the horse, 2 mornings that we were there, because we went back a couple of times, the horse happened to be there. I was so excited. I think I took 400 pictures of the horse. And I think the 3 that I'm showing here are probably the best 3. I have a couple others that are nice, but it just happened to be, he was facing me. He was going to run back up the hill because where he's running is all sand dune hills.
so they're
with
just,
with
you
grass.
just happened to cross these horses, they're
Yeah.
just running loose and you just happened.
Yep,
Oh,
happened. Just that's what's so awesome about photography. It's a moment in time.
yeah.
And this was
Wow.
him, he's almost at the top of the dunes, which have the beautiful grasses on them.
And back at the last picture,
Yeah,
I would have liked to put just a little bit of content aware fill on the bottom there so that his feet aren't touching the frame.
you know what? I agree. I didn't, when I took the picture, it was like, he
Because I
started to
love,
run.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
and
I'm
I
gonna
saw
go
that and
back and
thought,
try
I
that.
just love the light on it and
Yeah,
the swirl in the
I'll
head.
try to do that, but just put some grass down there.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Content
okay.
over fill. Yeah.
I forgot about doing that. That's a good idea.
yeah, on the crop tool, and just pull it down and check the
Okay.
content aware and, yeah.
These are great
Thanks. Yeah, I'm
environmental
gonna go
shots.
do that.
too.
I love that shot otherwise, yeah.
Thanks.
You've got the whole environment in there, the sea in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the depth of field is really nice.
That was with, I think, my 100 to 500. And this was the other edge weather of Scotland. We were on our way from Glasgow to Oban, and it started snowing. And it was just like I've seen in some of the photography's videos, if it's going to snow, you better be there right away to catch the snow because it'll stay on the mountains, but it won't stay on the ground. And I would say we stopped a couple times. Of course, I wasn't in good locations to take photography, but I still wanted to get something. But within 2 hours, the snow on the ground was totally gone. Well, it was only left in the mountains. It's very strange.
And what percentage of the
Yeah.
time are you shooting from a tripod?
What percentage?
Yeah,
Maybe 30%.
because you got incredible detail in this shot as well.
Well, this one I had a tripod.
That might be helping.
Yeah. Yeah, this one I definitely had a tripod. And this is quite a distance away from me. So this is my 100 to 500.
Was it very windy?
Pardon?
Was it windy?
Not this one was not windy.
Yeah, that
There was most of the days, a lot of wind. Yeah.
Do you
That helps.
use a polarizer filter?
Did not.
Okay.
I have used a polarizer filter, but I also forgot my reverse neutral density filter, which I needed often when I was going to be doing some landscapes when the sun was actually out. So I had a photographer one day that he had one. He let me borrow his.
What's
But
a reverse?
the reverse is it's at the line where the sun would set. It's darker rather than it being darker at top and graduating softer to the bottom. It's darker at the mid level at the horizon, and then it goes up. It gets lighter.
Oh, can't you just flip it upside down?
No.
No,
No? Oh,
When you start buying filters, you can buy 1,000,000 of them.
Yeah.
Mm.
Oh, and this was on the way from Glasgow to Oban. There was a castle. You don't see the castle's not in the picture, but the castle is on a lock. I don't know the name of this lock, and we just happened to be there later in the day, and then a storm started coming in. So, and luckily this was a nice calm. This was probably the calm. We probably only had 5 days out of 50 that wherever we were, where there were reflections because of the wind, or we didn't get up early enough, because if you got up really early, you might, miss the wind. But most days, there were not, it was not good for reflections.
This is another
This
one
day,
that's-
huh?
This is another one that's got beautiful detail.
Oh, thank you. This day we went by several locks on our drive, and I was like going insane in the car because it was the calm day. All these locks had reflections, and there was nowhere to stop, and I was going crazy.
You should try with Keith.
Why does he stop?
You guys get along now.
Yeah, well, I drive my husband crazy. Can't you stop? Can't you stop? No, there's nowhere to stop. And I mean, these roads are very narrow and there's no place to pull off. And so it's like in my head, it's going, oh my God, I missed that picture. Oh my God, I missed that picture. And you can't remember them all in
That's
your
what
head.
Keith does.
Well,
Keith goes down the
sometimes-
road going, ooh, 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 ah, oh, oh, look at that, oh.
Yeah, sometimes you have to get out of the car and just have the other person drive up the road and come back and pick you
Yes,
up.
yes.
No, you get out of the car and you walk up to where they are.
Right. And this is, again, I think this is far away. I use my 100 to 500, I'm almost certain for this. It was in Oban, and where I'm on the other side of where this is, like the other side of the bay. And this was like a harbor on the other side of the bay, quite a distance from me. But this night was the same day you just saw the other reflection. This was like the photography day. In this day, we had the snow, we had all the beautiful reflections, and then we had a fantastic sunset here in Oban. I don't have a picture of the sunset because you guys, I know, will not believe it. I mean, it's like red, real orange, yellow, and I'm not enhancing it. I'll show you next time. And then it turned from that to reds. It was something else.
Wow.
But it was really, we got hardly any good sunsets the whole time that we were there. And it was too early to get up for sunrise. We only got up, I think, for sunrise twice.
Well, that part of the world is known for the cloudiness and gloominess.
Yeah. But a lot of times that's what's so gorgeous, because they get that light coming out from the clouds, that lights up parts of the land. This was in Glasgow, and I took this with my iPhone. I wanted to get more ground level Glasgow has a bunch of pigeons in maybe 3-4 areas of Glasgow. There's a lot of pigeons, and
Damn,
people.
that's a nice shot.
Oh,
Yeah.
thanks. Yeah, I put my iPhone almost on the ground to take that one. And you walk by and the pigeons all fly. So I can't tell you how many times I tried to get, maybe you guys can tell me, the pigeons are flying right towards you, but I could never get them all clear. I mean, they're like,
Of course not.
100 pigeons coming at me.
It's because they're moving.
Yeah, and I put a high speed and I still didn't get it right. I was hoping I could get like a really good picture with a majority, at least the ones like are kind of in the plane, clear, but
Can't be
none of
that.
my pictures turned out that way.
Can't do that with a phone.
No, with my camera, I was trying that, still couldn't get it. This is also at the train station. And again, I wanted to get a low perspective. And then I kind of changed the colors to keep more of the turquoises and the oranges, kind of like a Wes Anderson would, but
Good.
and like I said, in Glasgow, they have a lot of murals. This is, I think, with my iPhone. It could have been with my camera.
It's an IMG picture, isn't that?
Oh, then it's an iPhone, yes.
That's
And
the wide angle. That's
I did the panel. I did a panorama of this, and it's really not curved.
Oh,
No, it's not. It's it's not curved. But doing the panorama, this is how it turned out. And I like this perspective of what it did. That's why I'm showing you this one, because
Yeah.
it is not curved. This is a regular street with a you know, perpendicular. But it came out curved with the iPhone on a panel.
Very good.
Wow.
Thank you. Infrared, who's this? Bob. Oh, I was gonna say, I thought it was Linda. Bob, nice.
Yeah, these are the photos I have tonight are all infrared. Last few weeks, I've been using the infrared camera a little more just to become more familiar with the editing of these of infrared. And a few pictures I have here are from the Oak Hill Cemetery in Pontiac.
Oh,
And
the
it was
tree
a
behind the tree behind the building almost looks like it's white flowers. It's really pretty.
yeah, that's what I like about the infrared on a bright sunny day. The foliage and the grass it turns whitish, and
So Bob, what are you learning about how to edit infrared?
well, one of the things I've been trying lately is, and not on this one, but maybe a couple other photos here, where I reduce the texture and the clarity. You know, I mask a certain area of the brighter spots, and I reduce the texture and the clarity to make it look like it's kind of glowing, the foliage on the trees. And I try blurring some of the picture and sharpening, you know, the main focus, the subject of the photo. On this one, I didn't do any of that. This photo. On this one, this is one I entered in competition, and this is where I did reduce the texture and clarity and kept the focus, you know, on the building here, and kind of blurred the outer edges of the photo.
Looks like
Yeah,
a
I like that one a lot, Bob. I scored it pretty high, so.
Yeah, thank you.
Like the angle that's the building.
This is also at the cemetery. There was, I think, in Pontiac a while back, there was a psychiatric hospital where there was a lot of children there, and some of them, you know, were there without any, didn't have a family supporting them. So if the child had died, they buried them in the cemetery. And they had these tombstones there that are, you know, pretty small. And I was surprised that there were so many children buried here.
Great photo.
Very good, Bob.
Thank you. This is also at that cemetery, and I think I slightly, you know, reduced the clarity on this to give it a little bit of a glow on the trees in the background. And this was, well, taken at a distance. It's not a stacked photo, and I, you know, reduced the f-stop so that I could get, you know, a pretty good depth of field for the fence in front and the building and the trees in the background.
It almost looked like a snowfall had just happened.
Mhm. It was just a few weeks ago. This is the Cube building that we have. I know Bob and Keith were at this building on 6 Mile by 275, and it's all mirrors. The windows are all pretty reflective. And I was there about a year or two ago, took some photos, and I went back about a week ago just to see what it would look like in infrared.
That's really unique.
The
Yeah,
next few photos are infrared of this building.
'Cause the windows are kind of blue-green, right?
Yes, they
Yeah.
are.
Wow, this is nice.
But I darkened it in editing.
Mhm.
What time of day were you there?
This was about 2 in the afternoon.
Okay. Oh, that's beautiful. Now I
Yeah,
recognize
that's
the
really
really
photo.
nice.
Very
Really.
nice.
Yeah, I tried to bring out the frame of the building, brighten the structure there, and then darken the windows. And then
Nice.
also bring out the brightness in the leaves of the trees.
Mm.
Oh, that would be
Good
nice.
texture on those leaves.
Oh, wow.
This is a lake I ran across. It's in Northville, between 7 and 8 Mile. And I just had my infrared camera after I was at that building. So I just took a little walk around and took some photos of this one. And this one here, I kind of put a glow on the trees in the background and sharpened the deck area.
Came out real nice, Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
This is in the same area, and what I did different on this is I put a light vignette around the the frame of the photo.
Boy, I
And
could see that thing as a high key framed fine art.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bob, you're getting so good with that infrared.
Yeah, I
Is
kind
the
of regret
infrared-
selling it to you.
Is
You're
the
doing
infrared,
great.
is that a permanent, is that like a permanent change to your camera? I can't, I looked into it once.
You can do it one of two ways. You can have your a regular camera converted with an infrared filter.
Mhm.
They take the filter out that's in there now, and they put a filter in that just records the infrared light, which you really can't see with your naked eye. But there's other filters they can put in where it's a mixture of visible light and infrared light, where you can get some more color in your photo. But the camera that I have, which I bought from Bob, is a 720 nanometer NM.
Yeah.
And it's it basically records just without the visible light.
Yeah, you have just a
Um,
small amount of visible light at 720. If you
Yeah.
drop lower, like the one I've got now, it's in the 500s. You have a lot of visible light, and you can make funny colored images, but you can also stick a higher nanometer filter in front of it and get whatever degrees of darkness you need.
Does this require a longer exposure, or how do you expose for this?
No, this is basically the same exposure. If you have your camera converted, you can basically it follows the same exposure that a normal
These are all-
camera would.
These are all handheld.
Yes, these are all handheld.
See, the deal is when they convert your camera, they remove what they call the low pass filter, which is in front of your sensor. So when you take your camera lens off, you're not looking at the sensor, you're looking at the low pass filter. And that low pass filter blocks out most all infrared light. And that's why if you use a regular camera with that low pass still there, and you add an infrared filter on the front, you have extremely long exposure times because there's very little infrared light getting through.
Mm.
So it becomes normal when they switch it.
So Bob, are these automatically monochrome or are you making them? There's no color when you use the infrared?
It has a reddish cast throughout the whole photo.
Oh.
And when I get it into camera raw, I change it to black and white, and then I use the color mixer to try and bring out more contrast or more detail.
Okay, and so you're trying to get better at figuring out like which colors are affected. So obviously green is very affected, but things like, does red stay unchanged and blue?
Well, when I bring it into camera raw, I do a white balance, and I try and get, even though it has a reddish cast to it, when I do a white balance, I get some orange color in it, and then I get some purple or lavender color. And that's when I go into the color mixer and I can,
Light and
increase
dark.
or decrease that.
Mhm.
So what kind of color temperature are you doing your white balance? Because in the old days, the editing software wouldn't let you have a very big range. Nowadays, you can go up quite high. And you can really change the look of these just by radically altering the white balance.
Well, I don't know what exactly the number is, but depending on where you put the eyedropper on your photo to take a sample, you'll get different variations of those
What I
hue
did
colors.
was I made custom white balance presets in Lightroom by taking photographs of things like grass and with different colors. That seems to help the process.
Okay.
Great stuff, Bob.
Yeah, thank you.
Interesting.
Nice.
Okay, so these are my images. So these are all my images I sent in this time were monochrome, and they vary between high key and high contrast and whatnot. I think I have one color. And this was my second time at White Sands, and it was really interesting to me how very different my images are this time from last time, just because of the weather and
We're not hearing you, Linda.
We lose her?
Yep.
Is she still connected, Bob?
That's what I'm trying to ascertain. I'm not getting any reaction here. Oh, here we go. View. This one is showing your screen, and I have lost.
And
They changed some of the controls on this recently.
okay.
Someone have her phone number? Give her a call.
Well, I'm having, mine's acting goofy also. Okay, we're viewing yours. Oh, there we go. Now I'm seeing you guys. And Linda is not on. We lost her completely. Here we go, Linda, admit. There she is.
Sorry about that. Our power went out all of a sudden. And I think Ann's did too, so she's missing. But, so anyway, some of these images, the higher key images were taken during the sandstorm. And they just added that softness to everything and seemed to lend themselves to that type of treatment.
I'm glad you didn't give in to the urge to make this more contrasted. It just looks beautiful the way it is.
Thank you, Gary.
Maybe you didn't have the urge to turn the contrast. Oh, many people.
Well, I mean, some of my later images, that is exactly what I did. The
Okay.
sky was so soft though, and the colors were so soft, it just seemed, and I wasn't going to get that sharpness with all that sand blowing around, so. It's just a sun star.
Did you have to stop down to F16 or something like that to get that?
Yes.
Okay.
That's really nice.
This is the one color image, and this I did in a kind of the painterly style, just a little bit, and made the colors a little more harmonious and simple. And now this was the next day, the winds had died down. And so these I ended up going high contrast, just looking at the images because they really are just more abstract. There really wasn't anything of interest to focus on. And I just liked the shapes of the dunes.
Good job.
Good choice.
Great.
There's nice detail and texture here, which is nice.
I like the black sky too.
Yeah, I mean, again, with the high contrast image, this is very high contrast.
That's even better.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, this is
My
your
kind of
stuff.
shot.
Yeah.
I will say, I hate to say it because I don't really want to point it out, but you know what drives me crazy is along the bottom, the optical illusion that it's not straight. So I can't look down there.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good shot.
And I went very black on the sky here, and obviously
Oh, yeah.
Tom liked it, but it may not be for everybody. This was another one. This is my favorite.
Oh, that's good. That's,
Mhm.
I love that.
Probably because I ended up having to climb up that hill eventually. So,
Oh, I like that.
so now, Gary, this is a nod. You had mentioned to me at one point about Alistair Benz, some of his dune images. And I had gone and looked at some of them, and he had done some, I'm hoping, similar to what I tried to do. That was my goal. So these are monochrome. I did them in the gold tones. And
I like that.
Looks
Mhm.
good.
and this, I just went blue, and I liked it. It kind of looks like denim to me almost. It's just something different instead of black.
Nice and different. Yeah.
Just another high key.
Oh, I like that. I really like that.
Thanks, Tom.
And
I mean, it's the plain white sky. These are very, what I would call, low impact images, but that appeals to me sometimes.
It's very simple.
Minimalistic.
Yeah.
Do you like the low key versus the high key?
I'm sorry, what was that, Bob, on that
Do you
image?
like the light ones versus the dark more?
I like them both. To me, the image sort of tells you what to do.
Boy, this one is stunning.
Based on the lighting. So in this one, there was a lot of this was taken later in the day. There was a lot more shadow. And again, I was going off of Alistair Benz, and it's to me that these were more about the shape and the light than a subject per se.
It's
That
a lot
makes
of
sense.
layers, a lot of layers too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
And
more-
now
more abstract, yeah.
I'm not seeing it. So I'm looking on my laptop now, and I will say on my large computer, that lower dark portion, I do have detail in there on my,
There's detail in the top part of it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you can see it. I can see
Okay.
it in mine.
okay.
But with that lighting, you've got good depth.
Great detail on.
Yeah.
I like the little skinny lines out rimming the edges. The top.
Yeah, because the sun had set.
If you rotated it 90 degrees counterclockwise, it'd be really abstract.
Let's do that.
Oh,
Hey, Gary, do that.
Yeah, I think it would. I'm kind of partial to portrait format anyhow.
okay.
Gary there.
Yeah, that looks pretty nice.
Gary went to sleep, right?
Gary's
No.
gone.
No, I'm just studying this one, sometimes it takes on almost like a human form of a person laying down, and,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna sleep good tonight.
that's great.
The pillows.
I think of all the high contrast images you had, I like this the best.
Yeah, I do
Turn
too.
it vertical. Can you turn it vertical?
Not unless I take it into Photoshop
Oh,
and,
okay, that's what they were asking you to do.
yeah.
You can't, okay, you can't, okay, that's all right.
I actually did do that on one, but I didn't submit it. Maybe I'll.
Gosh, that's another good one.
Yeah.
Sounds like you got a duck there. Those bills are a little
You
bit-
sound like Skip now, seeing gorillas and everything.
Yeah, when there's a gorilla, he doesn't see it. So,
Yeah. That's
But I
great.
will say for these images, I'm happy with how they turned out. And what I find personally is if I go into taking an image thinking I'm going to do black and white, like I was pretty sure I was going to focus on the abstract shapes.
yeah,
I feel like the images a lot of times turn out better than if I have a color image and I just say, oh, let's just see how it looks black and white.
well,
You know,
you have to,
sometimes that works, but
no, you have to think that when you're taking the picture, you know,
Yeah.
I just find for myself, a lot of times
that's what you should be
they're a
doing.
little better, but not always, but usually.
That's what you should be doing.
Yeah, a lot of times when I see really good textures, I know that that's going to be a good black and white
Yeah.
picture. So
Okay,
Excellent. All four are excellent sets of pictures. I'll give this back to Bob.
What am I gonna do with it?
I don't know.
get up and dance.
Time is,
Tom, do you have any wisdom for us?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm old, but I'm not wise.
perfect.
I thought I would be by now, but
Another 20 years, you'll make it.
no, I don't know. I just I like everything I've seen tonight. It's pretty darn good. It's very, very I was gonna be busy with something else tonight, and I thought, oh, maybe I better, I gotta see what's going on. So
yeah, to
lot of good
Gary's
stuff
point
there.
at the beginning of the meeting, seeing Linda's abstract sand dunes pictures and stuff, I wouldn't want to just limit us to only street photography. And
mhm.
Good. Okay, I agree.
Yeah.
And there was enough street photography here to keep us so we don't lose our membership in the Street Photography Club of
we can still,
America.
we don't have to change our name.
That's right. That's good. Yeah.
I guess one one question to the group. Did we decide that we do not want to have a meetup at Greenfield this weekend?
Well, I'm gonna be there Saturday anyway. I don't know what you guys
Okay.
are. What,
I'll be there Saturday.
I mean, I like the idea of that. I do. It just, for me, this weekend doesn't work, unfortunately.
Either.
Gary and I were talking
Future.
today about other meetup possibilities. If there's something that you guys would want to do, like go a particular, to Toledo, Ann Arbor, or somewhere to dedicate a little field trip for street and urban landscape, that might be interesting. So if you got any ideas, throw them out.
I don't have any ideas, but I think this is a kind of segue into this. So are you guys familiar with Photo Crowd?
No.
Okay, well, it's another place where you can share images, but they do a lot of contests. Some are quite well known and big and all this, but some are just smaller and all different levels, and you can have images judged by the community or by professional judges. Anyhow, I had just every now and then I'll get a prompt that there's some contest, and sometimes I'll just throw something in, sometimes with thought, sometimes without. Anyhow, there was one recently on painterly portraits, and I entered an image that was just kind of thrown in, but the results came back today, and I was really blown away by some of these images. And Gary, I was thinking of sending you a few, because what really caught me was, some of the lighting, and a lot of these images were not studio images.
Mhm.
And so I think, they're taken like, I don't know, I think it's kind of like street photography when you take people, these are probably a little more posed or whatever. Anyhow, I'll send you a few, but I would love
Okay.
to maybe talk about, what did they do
That might be a lot
to
of
get that
processing.
lighting and to get that tech, they look so good.
I'd like to see them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, you bet. Lighting's important.
And resolution, you mentioned something about that I never really thought about that resolution is different than sharpness. So maybe we could talk about that. How do you can you improve resolution, or is that just your equipment, or?
It's basically your equipment. I mean, Photoshop has allowed us to use their special UpRes software, where it's supposed to take, take the resolution up 4 times. It doesn't necessarily do that, but it's close. But not that resolution is the end all for every picture, but when you're doing landscape, and some of the pictures we saw tonight, certainly the more resolution you have, the better sometimes. And I've got a Fuji medium format that's 100 megapixels. Bob's got the same sensor on his camera. And when you're doing landscape, it blows your mind, some of the detail you see in there. And you don't have to force it. You don't have to over sharpen and things like that. Sharpening is just a process of increasing contrast. If the resolution isn't there, you're just going to destroy the picture by over sharpening. So if you're into landscape photography, then resolution really, the higher pixel rates certainly make a difference.
Well, I have the same camera as Ann, and my pictures don't look like that. So Ann, I would love to know.
Yes, they do, Linda. Yes, they do. Your pictures are wonderful.
I don't have
I
that
tell you,
chance.
I'm terrible at the sharpening and getting the editing just right. I would love to see Ann present how she deals with her images, like walk through how you edit some of those and what settings you do or don't do, because I'm notorious for too damn much sharpening, for example. And you're getting the colors nailed. You're getting the resolution showing. And
But I think Ann does a lot of that when she takes the picture.
No.
No?
I often underexpose my landscape images because I hate using the neutral density graduated filters. So I often underexpose my pictures because of the sky. And then I can bring up the foreground. So no,
But your- but your
the resolution.
sharpness- Yeah,
Yeah, the sharpness should be good in camera. So I don't have to do a whole lot. I do do some clarifying, clarity.
mhm.
But I know you can't do too much. But it's mostly, I guess, it's mostly just changing the tones, the brightness and that's, I do a large majority of that, but I also I don't really use sharpening a lot. I'll use clarity and texture, but not sharpening. I will sharpen sometimes, but not often.
Well, maybe you can school us on that one of these days.
Okay.
Well, you mentioned focus stacking. Do you do that in camera? Like, does your camera do the focus?
It can. I tried it once because I did like 75 focuses on a tree, knotted kind of tree. But then I have to throw that into Photoshop. So the camera will take all the pictures, but it will not give you one picture at the end. So you have to throw it into Photoshop. But no, like for that one that I think I'm pretty sure I focus stacked, is I'll take a picture in the front and I'll take a picture of the trees and then I'll just put it in Photoshop and have it be put together.
Okay.
But I don't do a lot of focus stacking. In fact, sometimes I just decide I don't care if one part is not, like some of the ones that you haven't seen yet were the yellow fields and then in the foreground are the yellow fields, and in the background are green trees. I could not get both in focus. I tried F16, I tried F18, I've tried F11, F22. They both would not come in focus because all the yellow field is flowers, the little flowers on the rapeseed. So some I just said, I don't care. The one's going to be in focus and one, I'm going to either focus on the rapeseed and the trees are going to be a little soft, or the trees will be sharp and the rapeseed will be soft. So you just
Right.
kind of decide, what you artistically want. So I don't like to focus stack if I don't have to.
Yeah, I understand. Does the shutter speed helps too sometimes, right? If you can, I mean, especially like trees, with leaves, they blow. Wouldn't a higher shutter speed also give you?
If
better
I'm hand holding,
resolution?
I use a higher shutter speed because my wrists are weak. And especially with my big camera, I can't hold it steady. So even with image stabilization, if I don't have a high shutter speed, it's going to be blurry. Now, I took some waterfalls, maybe 2-3 waterfalls, and it's almost always windy in Scotland. So some I just didn't worry about the foliage being blurry. Others I said, I really need the foliage to be clear. So I focus stacked. I have not edited those yet, but I purposely took the waterfall and then I did a fast speed for the foliage.
And so that has to be on tripod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we're gonna play it loose this weekend. No outings, but if you guys come up with any ideas, why, we'd be glad to have them. And Doug Palmer, any questions? This is your first time with this group.
Well, I'm just impressed with what I'm seeing here. I'm not I don't do a lot of landscape, but I'm very impressed with what I saw. Do you guys tend to go out and meetups very often, or is that something you do on a regular basis?
It hasn't been, but
Mhm.
it probably would. Of course, with everybody's schedules, some of these people who travel, like the other Doug and Keith, they're all over the world, and Linda and Ann are all over the world. So it's
Yeah,
hard to get the group
and Bob,
together.
you're not very busy either ever, so.
No,
Doug, the club will try to do meetups, I think a little more, but they're still not that frequent.
No, they're geared towards you, like, I don't know what they're at one side of town and they find something. Ann would try to set something up and then no one would come, and it's hard.
Yeah. it's
Yeah,
tough with
but
all
we
that
just did
schedule.
the studio shoot recently.
No, that was good. That was
nice.
different.
Yeah, and there was a
That was real good.
Kensington meetup
Mm.
at Kensington, so they do, but we haven't done a lot in this group, but part of that I think was COVID and everything too.
Mhm. Okay. All right.
People in the group go out together, Bill, so, you know, at times.
Yeah, one thing about a group like this is you tend to pick other members, one or two, and go individually and shoot. That happens a lot with the club.
Okay.
But if you get ideas, throw them out. And we'd love to see some of your stuff next time. I was impressed by the environmental work of your bird photography.
That's just something I've been working on lately. I was getting a little tired of the bird on a stick photos. I'll go on I'll go down a path for a while and then I'll say, okay, I want to try something different. And then that's something I've been doing more recently.
Okay. Well, I think you'll find as we get more and more people, more meetings under your belt,
Mhm.
you'll see a lot more diversity.
Mhm.
Because there's actually another 8 or 10 folks that come occasionally too.
Yeah, as I was watching at the meeting last time on the competition, I was thinking to myself, trying to figure out, some of the things I like to do, where it would fit in, what category it might fit in, and I was just struggling a little bit trying to figure that one out. So,
Well,
You know,
the proposed rule change would pretty much knock you out.
uh-huh.
That
but
was one.
you know, if you have a beautiful picture,
Mhm.
I think you should submit it and just screw all the rules and, you just, because I mean, sometimes I'll do that. Some of these images I showed tonight, I will enter in club and they'll do terrible because
Yeah.
they're not,
Just didn't meet the rules.
well, it's not even rules. They're just kind of a little outside the box. They
They're
don't-
not, they're a little
Right.
outside the box or the taste of it.
Yeah,
Treat
but I
people-
think it's nice to share them. I think people do enjoy seeing them.
Oh, yeah.
And you
You
have to, and yes, I go home and drink a bottle of red wine, but
Only one.
I still am gonna submit those images.
Could he submit his nature pictures in color since there wouldn't fit the rule for nature? No?
Not anymore. The rule,
Oh,
you
The
can't,
proposed rule is you can't
So
have
proposed
any
rule,
nature
and
stuff of significance in a color photo.
oh,
so if the.
But if it has a
animal
hand
still-
to man, it still can't,
I
it'd have to go
I
into
haven't seen
color.
those. I haven't looked at those rules or I glanced at
Yeah,
them.
the one that confused me a little bit was the landscape photo. If there happens to be some kind of a wildlife element to it,
Less
a
than a
bird
third of the
flying
frame,
in the
yeah.
distance, it kind of disqualified it, or did something change the category?
Yeah,
in some
that's
way?
the rule that I was really arguing.
That's the
about.
one,
Oh.
that's the one they changed. That's the one that's been argued about the most, only because people push it to the limit,
Mhm.
and they don't, and different people think it's something different than what the rules say. So, some people don't know what. a third of the-
I think it's worth bringing up at club that maybe we have our own rule with the understanding that,
It might
an
not-
image-
it might not go to council, that's all.
right, right.
That's what
But
we
if
do
we,
now.
if we want to say it's okay to change the background to make a fine art nature image, we will look at it, we'll judge it fairly.
Mhm.
But if you win
Yeah,
first place, it's still not gonna go.
That's hard on Keith when he has to pick things out for nature. So
It's what?
hard on Keith, because then he has to know that it was
I have
done.
to
Well, he would know.
So it's been.
Not always, not always. If you're not there and it comes up and people think it's, because you can do it in camera too. You don't have to do it afterwards, but
Well, at the end of the day,
I'm
if you've got a
confused.
couple of hundred ribbons and medals, you can't buy a cup of coffee with them.
hey, so Bob Hogopia, you still there?
Yeah,
Did you hear about the controversy with Mike Florian and your Van Gogh picture?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
Um,
did, and I don't agree with it, but
I don't
You should
either.
tell him. You should tell him. You should.
Well,
he
I
might be
already
there.
sent,
Feel free
I
to
sent a
tell-
note to Mike Weir.
Yeah,
you
Mike
know, letting
Weir
him-
answered him and told him what he thought too. So, because Mike probably agrees with you. I did too.
No, I agree too, because I put it in the
Yeah.
council.
Yeah, Mike Florian cornered me at the last, when I wasn't at your outing, he was at the print competition. He cornered me right at the end of the night and said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Then I started thinking, oh, I remember that.
Well,
Yeah, I think he was way off base.
Now you gotta tell all of us.
It's case he even went so far as to go online and find those pictures somewhere and then copy them, and he copied your photo. Made
Wait, what
made a
happened?
his version of your
Yeah,
photo.
what happened?
Well, I guess they don't want us to take photo of an artist's work like Van
That's-
Gogh
That's
and,
Okay.
and
different than
present
what
it.
you- that's different than what you did though. So,
Right, I took two of his photos and merged them together.
yeah,
um,
in the creative
And
category.
presented it in creative.
Yeah.
So it's
And I
basically,
guess that still didn't fly with.
Not to him. He's about the only one, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one else
Yeah.
agreed with him.
Yeah,
yeah, that's,
So what would happen then if you took a picture of a photo of a graffiti or a photo of a
Exactly.
absolutely
disco?
right.
And that's the same, it's exactly the same thing, but they don't think of it that way.
Okay,
But you
And
know,
and
like,
that's what I mean, that it's very, it's individual. Judy Akers, the one you say, you can't take someone else's art, like someone's
yeah,
a
that's
statue.
exactly where it
Right.
came from.
You can't take a picture of a statue. You can't take a picture of anything then.
wow, yeah.
Judy
building
was
is
a
a
council
Right,
officer
yeah.
for years, and that was her position. She was vehement about it.
Huh.
So it's just, it's too bad, but you just roll with it and forget it, you know?
Yeah, because for example, I'm going to Italy in October. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna take a picture of David, and I've already have a creative picture in mind that I'm gonna use with the statue of David. I'm not
Sure.
saying take a picture of a piece of art and that's what I'm submitting. I'm saying like what Bob did, make something creative out of it. And they're
Yeah.
saying that that's not acceptable?
I don't know. We haven't seen it yet.
Okay,
Well,
okay.
no, I would
Well,
say,
I'll submit it.
If you
Next
put
later
clothes- if you
on.
put clothes on them, that's pretty creative, you know?
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
well, just do it.
Come look like a hillbilly or something.
Yeah, I'll
Not
just do it.
Florida.
See, they get a little
right,
goofy
right.
on, they get goofy on these rules because they don't think about what they're saying, photographing somebody else's art. Well, you know, what about photographing some architect's art?
The building.
Right, which is a building,
Mhm.
right?
See,
Or a
so-
bridge.
Or bridge, yeah.
Yeah, there's-
in Chicago,
landscape
I've taken
architect.
pictures of the
Right.
bean, the bean.
Yeah, you
is a
bet.
sculpture.
And what is it
Everybody
we're
thinks-
trying to do? Take good pictures and show them and show our technique and prowess as a photographer, not trying to sell the guy's building out from under him.
Right.
You're all right. Sorry, I brought that up.
No, you're not.
Well, that
Anyway.
was kind of interesting that he got so bent out of shape about it.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, it's been good again.
Yeah,
If you got any suggestions, for gosh sakes, just let us know and we'll let this group evolve as needed.
I'm gonna go. I'll see you guys later.
yeah.
All right,
Good
see you
night.
guys. We've recorded
Thank
this and I'll be
you.
posting it.
Oh,
Bye.
hey, everybody, I talked to Nancy today.
Oh,
Oh,
you did?
Oh,
Yeah, she's doing okay. She's,
Wow.
in the hospital. She's up every day, walking with a walker and moving around because she didn't break both legs and both arms and everything. She broke everything on the right side of her body. And so her
Oh.
other leg is good. So she gets up and they kind of
Oh,
spin her and get her into a chair and have her walk around with a walker. It's just so that leg doesn't not work when they need it to,
Oh.
Mhm.
When
Oh,
she
that's
starts
good.
getting, she gets a boot off and then she has her on the one foot and then as soon as she gets that off, she has to wait 2 weeks before she put a weight on it. And then they're doing therapy every day with her though.
Wow.
And
I'd
the
be
pain
open-
is, she said the pain is gone. So it's like,
Oh,
it
that's
kind of
good.
gone. It was real
Oh.
bad. Now it's just ache.
Healing.
It hurts, but not, but she's tired of sitting in bed and watching TV and everything else. So,
I'd be open to go visit her, but I actually don't know her all that well, so
you can call her. Or
Well,
Mike had.
I'd
had her-
rather go with somebody who like knew her a little better.
I'll
maybe.
probably go see her, but I can't drive right now across town. So I'll just wait until
Mhm.
I can and then I'll probably go see her. She's gonna be in the hospital for a few more weeks and then she goes into some rehab and it might be right at the hospital or it might be just outside or she doesn't know, but she's gonna be in, other living conditions, not home for at least 8 or 10 weeks yet. So.
And she's at Sparrow?
Sparrow, yeah.
Okay, well, let me know, Doug, maybe,
I'm not gonna, if I go, it won't be until I can won't be till first September for me by the time I come drive again, so.
Oh, okay. Well, I can drive. I don't know. All right. Well, I'll tell, yeah, I'll see. All right.
Yeah, she's, you know, I don't know. I'm probably not going to see her sometime, but right now she probably doesn't want too many visitors. So she's all bruised
Yeah.
up, her face and everything
Yeah,
else. to
It gets
cast
tough
on
though
her.
in the hospital. It's surprising how boring it gets so.
Yeah.
quick.
Yeah, but you can call, talk to her if you know her. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, see you next time. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
Okay.
Bye.
All right. And
Bye.
Ian, give me
Bye-bye.
a call
Thanks,
when you're
everybody.
ready to walk or whatever.
Okay, I will, Linda. Hey.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye.